A reading from Psalm 50. The Lord, the God of gods, has spoken. They have called the earth from the rising of the sun to its setting. Out of Zion, perfect in its beauty, God reveals himself in glory. Our God will come and will not keep silence. Before them there is a consuming flame, and round about them a raging storm. They call the heavens and the earth from above to witness the judgment of their people. Gather before me my loyal followers, those who have made a covenant with me and sealed it with sacrifice. Let the heavens declare the rightness of their cause, for God himself is judge.
Now hear the gospel. Jesus took with them Peter and James and John and led them up a high mountain apart by themselves. And they were transfigured before them, and their clothes became dazzling white, such as no one on earth could bleach them. And there appeared to them Elijah with Moses, who were talking with Jesus. Then Peter said to Jesus, Rabbi, it is good for us to be here. Let us make 3 dwellings, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. He did not know what to do. Say, for you were terrified. Then a cloud overshadowed them, and from the cloud there was a voice. This is my child, the beloved. Listen to them. Suddenly, when they looked around, they saw no one with them anymore, but only Jesus. As they were coming down the mountain, they ordered them to tell no one about what they had seen until after the chosen one had risen from the dead.
Hello, everyone. I recently moved away from Boston. I left a home and a life that I had built there over the last 14 years because I knew in my spirit that I needed to leave. I am on my way to Minneapolis, or at least that is the plan. Currently, I am taking a long detour at my dear friend, here she is, Cammie, her house in South Carolina. Courage is the ability to do something even when you are afraid. So what am I afraid of? I am afraid of going off script. I'm afraid of not sticking with the plan. I'm afraid of not following through when I said I was going to. At my core, I am afraid of disconnection and uncertainty that might come if I veer off the path. I really like plans. Today, though, I was courageous, and I called 3 people and let them know that I was not coming as planned. I was supposed to leave South Carolina and start my journey north today. I risked disconnection with people who I really want to love me for something even more important. I risked changing the plan because something inside of me said I was not ready to be on my way to Minneapolis. Right now, I'm still in the vulnerability of that uncertainty. In the gospel today, we see Jesus take 3 of his closest friends up to the mountaintop where they experience him in this otherworldly way. This scene in Mark is the beginning of the transition that we are all about to embark upon as we move towards Lent and the crucifixion. As Jesus comes into his own knowing that his ministry of healing and freeing people from the demons of empire may just get him killed by that empire, he decides to take his friends hiking. I propose today that we see the transfiguration as a moment of encouragement, where courage comes in, rushing in toward Jesus from the outside. This is the scene. Peter, James, John, and Jesus at the top of a mountain, probably sweaty. I don't know about you, but going hiking and being on literal mountaintops are holy and sacred experiences for me. Jesus becomes dazzling white. I'm not really sure how to interpret that here, but that's in the text. And then two great prophets appear, Elijah and Moses. And the voice of God says, "Listen to my beloved child in whom I am well pleased." The setup, it's just a huge bolster of encouragement. I see friends bearing witness and supporting Jesus. I see nature there present in this whole story. I see ancestors revealing themselves from beyond the veil to bid Jesus to keep going on his path, to keep railing against empire. And I see God clearly affirming God's love and pleasure in Jesus's life. And yes, I see the white dazzling clothes. As I go off script on my leaving Boston journey, I've needed friends alongside me. I've needed my ancestors with me, bidding me not to settle for comfort, but to lean into my unknowing. I've needed my heavenly parent to call me beloved and to tell me they are deeply pleased with me, even if I go off what I thought was the plan. I've needed to know from the inside and out that it's okay to follow my own knowing, which is really hard for me to do. This mountaintop is not the moment of courage. It's the moment of encouragement. It came in part from his friends who walked with him for a long part of the way, the mountain which they climbed, the ancestors from whom he received his spirit, and God their self. On the hike, Jesus received these gifts to face the upcoming betrayals, even from these very friends, and eventually his own death and resurrection. These things are very uncertain and scary. Over the last 3 months, we would call this moment a gratitude moment, one that makes Jesus so full that he has the courage he needs to move through the hard things to come. We shared this cycle of grief, gratitude, and courage with you all again and again over the past 3 months because it's a very reliable plot line. When I get lost in anxiety and fear of disconnection and uncertainty, I have to remember where my ground is. I have to remember which way is up and how the story goes. Sometimes just knowing that there is a plot line allows me to move more easily through the grief into the gratitude, into the courage I need to face that grief. And if that plot line is too new for you, this week's psalm, like our grief and gratitude and courage plot line, announces to us one of the most epic plot lines in one of the greatest stories ever told. That Creator God called the earth into being from the rising of the sun to its setting. How much more does God know how my own little detour is going to turn out? My courage is my faith. My faith is my courage. And both are buoyed up by friends, ancestors, nature, and a good heavenly parent who really does have my best interest in mind, and yours too. Tonight, friends, I invite you into that courageous faith, a faith that believes in the goodness of our heavenly parent to encourage us in whatever little or big thing we are facing. Amen.